The baseball world is falling apart. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for watching this video and tuning in. Let's talk about potential lockout, potential change happening in the MLB. The Dodgers go out and get one of the best pitchers in baseball as of right now. That already isn't a Dodger. And the world is on fire. The world is going crazy. The world wants justice because they think that this is a terrible tragedy that a team that's led by an owner that wants to win and get championships, because that's the point of sports, is, they're the bad guy. And I know how this feels by being an evil empire in hockey. Everyone hates the Golden Knights for the same reason. Why? Because no matter what, we are in on every person that wants to be traded out of their team. We are in on every highly free agent. We do not care who you are. We are going to bring you in because we want to win. And the Dodgers are the same exact thing. Every sport has them, right? Every sport has those evil empires that everyone thinks is just the big bad guys. But their ownership, their managerial staff know that every single year we have to put a team that is going to compete and win a championship. Not winning a championship is an unsuccessful season to these sports teams. So when they finally win it, it's what they should do because they are putting a team that is good on the field. And I think a lot of people forget the Dodgers almost lost the World Series last year. If they were a ninth inning away from becoming World Series champions, they were a ball not getting stuck in the freaking the wall from a walk-off winner, I believe. So it's like, if it wasn't for that, they might not even be back-to-back champions, and people will not be talking about a salary cap. I don't think so. I think they would be talking about it, but they've been talking about a salary cap for years in baseball. But now if the owners are truly threatening that, hey, they were threatening this before this move that the Dodgers just made. So what are they going to do now that they have to threaten this after the move has been done? Are they going to own up to their word? Are they going to say, you know what? Let's just say F it. We're not going to do this. We're not going to have this happen to us. We are just going to sit back, relax, and just we'll take the lockout for now until we get what we want. Here's my thoughts on a salary cap. Okay? Because as you guys before we get into the salary cap, let's just finish this off. The reason why the Yankees and Dodgers are always in on everybody is because they are good, because they want to win, because they're historic franchises, and they do what it takes to win. And they build rosters that teams are like, yeah, I want to go there and win. They are very nice to free agents. They don't really give a about their prospects, so why not just draft guys that we could just go and get better versions of them and win now? And then guess what? Those prospects are probably going to turn out to be decent. And guess what? We'll just take other teams' best players when they build them up, and we'll just take them and trade them again. And it's just an instant cycle. That's business, baby. That's just how that works. Like, yes, as a viewer and a fan, I understand. Does it suck seeing the Dodgers win over and over and over? Yeah. But what else is going to happen? Teams need to start building to be competitive. And if you have 30 teams and 2 of them are the only teams that are willing to spend money, then what the hell are we doing? I have a list of teams from 1 to 10. I basically told AI, because I didn't want to do the research, I'll be honest, I was lazy. Out of the last, from 2016 to 2025, plus the start of 2026, what is the group based off of overall regular season, playoff consistency, and competitiveness? The sustained competitiveness. Here's your list. From 1 to 30, it is the Dodgers, the Astros, the Yankees, the Braves, the Rays, the Guardians, the Brewers, the Philadelphia Phillies, the Cardinals, the Blue Jays, the Marlins. This is the middle team. The Marlins, Mariners, Jesus. Padres, Mets, Diamondbacks, Rangers, Cubs, Twins, Red Sox, Giants, Orioles. Now at the bottom 10, Cincinnati Reds, Detroit Tigers, Los Angeles Angels, the Kansas City Royals, Miami Marlins, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Colorado Rockies, the Washington Nationals, the Oakland Athletics, a.k.a. Sacramento, a.k.a. soon-to-be Vegas, Chicago White Sox are the 30th team in that list. And I'm going to keep it on this because I want to see these teams that are asked because I'm going to talk about them. So, yes, some of those teams all over that list have had success. When you look at teams like the Diamondbacks, and the Rangers, they went to the postseason not too long ago. Rangers beating them for a World Series championship. So it's like these teams aren't necessarily terrible, but from basically 10 years, from 2016 to now, that has been the success rate from regular season, the sustained, competitiveness, all that. And anybody and everybody can complain about that, but what are you going to complain about it? Your owners don't go out and make the necessary moves. Whose fault's that? Not the Dodgers. Like, yes, does it suck that the Dodgers get every guy and because that it's a very destinational place? Yeah, of course. But other teams could do it. So, will a salary cap fix it? No. First of all, they're going to have to introduce so many new rules because there's so many. I just saw something today. $1.1 billion is owed to these players that are like in the long term. Like we all heard the story that like Ohtani signed his massive deal. They paid it off in that first year of him being a Dodger, just selling his jersey, especially to the fans in Japan. Like that's business, baby. Like they need to, like other teams need to jump on it. And if you want to grow the sport and build it up and make it better, because I'll just be honest, I could be honest with everybody. Baseball's not my favorite sport. Football and hockey are right there, basketball, and then baseball. Baseball's harder to watch because there's way too many games, in my opinion. And I feel like most of them are played out. I could predict the winner. It's not too difficult. It's easy to bet on series every single week. I mean, that's just, you want to know how a college student with no job makes a living? That's basically how I do it. Baseball is the money-grabbing machine when it comes to predictability. And I don't think it's going to change. So these owners that are complaining, I guarantee you something about these owners. So these owners here at the bottom. So the Pirates, the Marlins, the Royals, Angels, Nationals, Rockies. The Rockies especially, they've been a shite team forever. The Athletics, the White Sox. Their ownership they're probably the loudest too. Well, how are we going to be competitive? Blah, blah, blah. I guarantee you some of these teams are going to be pissed that they have to pay to the cap floor. They're going to be mad that they actually have to put a roster together to make that money for the cap floor. And then try to get competitive. And then that's another thing I don't think is going to change. Depending on the rules. And if they're going to do a cap situation, they're going to have to bring in all this different stuff from every sport. They're going to have to bring it in with football, and they're going to have to bring it in with hockey. Like LTIR, they're going to have to bring LTIR and IR, especially because it's like LTIR, for those that don't know, if you don't know hockey, basically that person's salary cap will then go on LTIR. You do not have to pay. Well, you have to pay that money, but now you get that same amount of money free in your cap space. For example, if a player makes $10 million, but then hurts his shoulder, he's going to be out for a couple months. Well, guess what? Now I could add $10 million worth of a player to that cap. And, sometimes teams need to be creative. Maybe this person has 11 million. So now they're going to have to give away a prospect or a pick. That way, and this won't happen in baseball, so more likely a prospect. Well, you have to give away a prospect to then take a percentage of the contract. Is that going to be a thing? But if you're going to do that, make sure you have LTIR not exist in the postseason because you have to have a playoff cap hit because people complained about the Vegas Golden Knights and the Tampa Bay Rays and every other team that did it, but they just didn't yell at them because they never won. Some teams just literally like, okay, you can come back a week and a half before the season, but we're just going to have you come back week one so it's off of our book. Is basically what happened. So they can't do that in baseball. They're going to have a cap for both playoffs and the regular season if that's the case. But I guarantee you that most of those bad teams aren't even going to want to pay fully to the cap. I guarantee you. Now, there's going to be some teams, like I think the Rays and a couple other teams that are in that middle of the line bunch, that they might not get the best players and the best agents and the, you know, the highly flashed, participants, but I do feel like they will be competitive for sure. Um, you know, what's going to happen with the Dodgers and Yankees? Nothing. They're going to always fight for the cap. Watch, they are going to be a team that has very little cap every single year, every single season. And the cap space that they do have is going to be used to bring in somebody at the deadline. Or, player or players at the deadline. I don't think it's going to do a lot. If your goal for a salary cap is to hope and pray that not many of the free agents and not many of the players end up going to the Dodgers, then okay. And you could also bring in the argument, well, yes, every other team can pay for these players, but how can you change, like, if, let's just say, for example, the Marlins or the Phillies are in on a very high free agent, but even if they're giving them a long-term deal and whatever, they could just get outbid by the Dodgers and Yankees, not based off of dollar percentage, but just based off of prestigiousness and the fact that they're a team and a roster that could truly win. Whether the Phillies try to bring in somebody who is like, you're going to be a good piece to help us get over the hump, and hopefully with you being a part of our core, we should be okay. But then if I get an offer from the Dodgers and I'm like, yeah, but I don't have to do as much there because there's 17 other guys on that team from pitching to batting that is just solid. Like, it's just that is definitely a big deal. I think that the middle teams and the teams that have had success over the last 10 years, they are going to benefit the most from this. The teams like the Athletics and the Rockies, the teams that have consistently been bad, they are going to have to start being competitive and start getting the big fish. And the only other thing, and then I'll call it off right here, the only other thing I think a salary cap is going to affect is eventually it's going to affect how contracts are going to be worked out. Because I think teams like Vegas, when they finally get the Athletics here, the Florida teams, I think they'll benefit tremendously on no state income tax. Because then players are going to probably be more inclined to be like, well, if I'm only going to make a limited amount of money now, it's just, well, I'm going to get the maximum I can. Let me go to a team that I don't have to give as much to in taxes or no state income tax, right? So I think that should be the plan. I think that's what should happen. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions. I'm not a huge baseball guy, so I need people's thoughts and opinions so I could bounce back and off it. Talk in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a good night or day. Make sure you like, subscribe, favorite, follow me and everything.
Just fuels my fire, let go my ego, elevating higher. Talking sports, reigning supreme, slaying every game like it's a dream. Never let go of this ego I hold, more than enough for me and my amigos. Go from the diamond to the ice rink, I run the show. All eyes on me.